Welcome to the No Hangover podcast. Like always, you can find us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, YouTube, for the visuals. Check us out. Check out the website, nohangoverpodcast.com. You can keep up with the latest merchandise, aka what we're wearing right now. You can see other episodes, more snippets. Contact us there, or like I said, our social medias on Instagram. It's probably one of the best places to contact us.
The best place. I was about to say the best.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, DM any inquiries.
Or in the DMs in like YouTube. If you want to leave a comment on Apple fucking podcast.
Some people have. We appreciate you people that have been leaving the comments.
Leave some ratings, some 5-star ratings down there.
Definitely would be appreciated.
That's another way to get in contact.
I don't even recall. Google Play. We're on there as well.
I don't know.
I don't think I said it.
I've never been on Google Play. So I don't really know
and SoundCloud, but.
You've never had an Android before?
No.
Really?
I had.
This nigga's bougie. He's been spoiled his whole life.
Yeah.
You started with an iPhone?
The first one came out.
I had like a flip phone and like I had a Razr.
Me too, but I'm talking about like.
I had like one that slid up with the keyboard, but I didn't have like an Android.
So your first smartphone was an iPhone.
Sidekick or
and I never looked back.
Look at you.
A BlackBerry.
Look at
strong,
you.
Saying strong.
I had a couple smartphones. I had like 2 before I ended up getting an iPhone. But back to what you were saying, Jacob.
Yeah, that's basically what I was saying. Welcome to the episode.
Yeah, iPhone or Android, you can find us on all those platforms.
Boom. So here we are.
Regardless with what you have.
Jacob, the Cuban sensation. Jordan across.
Oh, you're bringing it in today.
My boy JG over there.
And
your favorite host.
It's Eric on the other side.
Appreciate you.
The curly-headed host.
Can I shout you out? Dennis, behind the fucking mic, behind the screen, behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. There
behind everything. He's just behind it all.
Yeah, he is.
Making it go. Making
Man
it go.
with the master plan.
Facts. So here we are. Another episode, another week.
Excited to be here. That. Let's get into some topics.
I usually say that. We're all taking sauce from each other. It's a beautiful thing. It's great. Let's get into it. Tell him, Yak.
He was like, I haven't gotten a word out today.
Go ahead. Do your thing, champ.
Oh, I was actually going to let E bring this one in.
Okay.
All right. So last week, shout out to Kristen. Good episode. We're in the, I forget what we were talking about. Some Brittany.
They're about to come direct to Mundo. I can see it coming.
There's no other way around it, really.
Nope.
What we were talking about, that Brittany Reiner chick. And there's some
Brittany
mix-up.
Renner.
Brittany Renner.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan made a comment.
And I called.
And he said all black men are gods. Or the black man is God.
Uh-huh.
That's just kind of like, I had never heard you say that before, so I kind of want to get where that comes from and where that thought process is.
Where's your head at, Jordan? Where's your head at?
Well, originally what I said, I did say that, but who I mixed up was P.J. Tucker.
And P.J. Washington.
And I called P.J. Tucker God for multiple reasons. One, I think he's very good at what he does. I think he's a good basketball player. 2, he's a shoe god in the sense of what he does for the culture. I'm right in saying that, right? As far as black man being God, I feel like it's just another word to describe somebody at their highest level. I'm not trying to say that anybody is a god on earth, but I think it's a better way of describing somebody than saying maybe that nigga or, that he's a gangster. Like it's an elevation of a title for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So in no way am I trying to say that the black man is God on earth. But I do believe in people being in God form in some type of capacity. So that's kind of what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Well,
I wasn't saying that only black man is God and that's what I see as God. That wasn't my whole thing.
But but even with that, like, because this is kind of like, it's not just kind of like just going with what you're saying. Like, it's like it's like, I don't know, just like, it's weird for me, and I've said this before, because like when people, and I'm not saying you do, I'm just in general, like kind of put that, idolizing people and shit like that, and kind of putting people on a higher pedestal because they're great at one thing or great at something, and kind of, and it happens a lot with celebrities and shit like that too, like where if they do a wrong thing, it's kind of like, well, they're so great at this that we can kind of like push shit to the wayside. I'm not saying that PJ Tucker is doing anything bad or anything, just in a general sense.
Right.
So then like, when does it, like, and we've discussed this before, when is it that like the level that somebody does something, when does that start superseding their character and what they do as a person, and when they start doing all, they're kind of skeletons in the closet type shit?
It depends on the skeleton. It's something that's, just against humanity and something that you just can't look past, and that takes away from all their accomplishments and who they are. But if people are making mistakes and they're in the limelight and they're famous, I mean, that's who makes you who you are, essentially, making mistakes and learning from them, right? Those people are just on a different...
They're viewed differently because they have more exposure.
They have more exposure. They're in the public eye. So their mistakes are a little bit more magnified than the average person is. But like I said, it depends on the skeleton.
Yeah.
Once you see somebody who, for what they really are or what they really do in their personal life, it supersedes all their greatness. I mean, R. Kelly... we can name a bunch of people, but I can think about him specifically.
Bill Cosby.
You know what I'm saying? It's countless people who we've looked behind the curtain and seen who they really are, and then it takes away from any great accomplishment that they've ever given us. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just being a human and being able to judge things on a fair, humane level, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. It's just like I said.
Nobody is I don't want to say anybody is like of God form. God is the only perfect thing in this world, right? That's what I would agree. Would you agree?
I mean, yeah. I mean, and any way that you in any way that you view it, like
right.
that is like there's no beginning, no end type shit.
Exactly.
Like, there's no like
right
title to it.
To ascend to be that great and of that. That's what I'm trying to say. That's my meaning behind it.
I would just go with like king or something.
I like king too.
Yeah, like I don't mind calling people royalty. Like, damn, you're doing what you're doing in life.
My mom would say the same thing that you're saying, as far as me using the word in that vein. But I'm not trying to use it in a vein of saying that somebody is the God. Like I just explained before.
Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say.
Which, I mean, great way of explaining it. Didn't know that either, so appreciate it. But I'm just saying, in my not just in my beliefs, but just the way I go about stuff, I don't like comparing or even saying like God to anything else. Just because, I mean, a couple of reasons. Well, in the Bible, it says don't compare anybody to me.
Right.
And I mean, even in the Bible, for instance, which is kind of taking a shot at religion just because you kind of do that sometimes. Religious people, there's religions, but in the book of, just in the Bible, not necessarily religions, but in the Bible, it says one thing versus what religions do. Religions is, made up of people on earth living of the world. And when you live of the world, you're not necessarily going to be aligned with what the Bible says. So religion is kind of a front for people living, we live life. We're natural. We're born sinners. Like that's just what we are. No, none of us are perfect.
Right.
The only one that was perfect was Jesus.
Correct.
Okay, God. The only person, you should call God because he was the only one perfect. But as in a religious sense, for instance, like Catholic churches, how they call the Pope and stuff Father. Like in the Bible, it specifically says you should never call another man Father, besides your dad, because I'm the creator. I created the world. The only Father is me. Is what God was saying. So right. That's why I just, if someone is, say, higher elevated or of a certain stature, I would be like, damn, he's doing it. He's doing the damn thing.
But
call him royalty, whatever.
Is that your religious view?
Not necessarily just a religious view, just my personal view.
A Catholic person would view it differently, right?
Yeah, probably, because, I mean, like I said, they call their priest Father.
Right.
And specifically in the Bible, it says, don't do that.
Right.
So it's like...
I don't know, but that's
kind of an interesting thing to me.
And that's why I kind of again, the whole religion and organized religion like that, when it gets that big to a certain point, with any entity or any body gets that big to a certain point, there's corruption. After with anything, business, with fucking, when there's money involved, there's gonna be corruption, and that's why it's kind of
how pure is it?
Exactly. That's why it's I believe in somebody should have faith, whether it is religion, whether it's something that spiritual, whether it's something you seeking with your within yourself, whether it's something that's whatever motivates you, whatever gives you that to keep going. But when it start getting into the organized shit or labeling a certain demographic of people and saying that is God or whatever, it starts, to me, that's it starts getting into a superiority complex. And like you said, like how pure does it get once it gets to a certain level? Like where's the pureness of it? Like because initially when all these things start, like organizations, religions, like it's with the intent to do good,
right?
To like bring people together, bring awareness, do this, do that, do good. But then once it starts gaining the popularity, starts getting the momentum, and you're seeing that like people are just kind of like to a certain extent blindly following,
right?
And then just start throwing money, then it's like that's gonna corrupt anybody. When you're just getting money hand over fist like that, and that's what like a lot of religions do. That a lot of
come from sinful flesh.
Exactly, a lot of organizational groups do that.
Right.
So it's like that's where it's that's why it's hard for me to get behind a lot of shit sometimes.
Yeah.
And like I believe what I believe, and I'm always open to hear what people have to say about their beliefs, and I take things from it, and I might not agree with it and shit like that, but like because once it gets to a certain level of things, especially just with how people are with greed and shit like that, like you can go in with the best intent and then come out the other side
right.
doing exactly what you didn't want to do, right. Causing more damage. And I feel like we're kind of stuck in a cycle like that, like as people. Right. Like
I mean, my thing is like the key part, the most important thing is your relationship with God, right, or a higher power. Mm-hmm. So who's to say that you have to go and practice that with a bunch of people around you? Mm-hmm. If all that matters is your relationship with the higher purpose, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And your God, like you can't really call where somebody has to practice or pray to their God.
Yeah, and that's when because there's some religions that are super strict on you have to pray at this time, you have to come together and pray together and all this shit, mm-hmm. and kind of like there's some that will look down on people that don't go to church or that don't do this, or will label them like sinner or this and that, whatever. Right. And again, that's a lot of religious prosecution has happened like throughout years and shit like that because
throughout the history, of course.
Yeah, so because for again like that superiority complex as far as like, well, I feel like my way is right. I don't, you might not necessarily be a bad person, but because you don't think the way that I think or see things exactly the way I see it, then all right, well, I'm better than you because my God and my way is the right way. And that's where it's kind of like,
the people of the world.
Yeah, that's where people blindly follow and shit. It's not just in religion. Mm-hmm. There's stuff like, again, with like different organizations and shit like that will, you'll just have people blindly following a message or interpret the message in their own way, mm-hmm. and take it and run with it and think that they're doing good and trying to spread the good word or spread the whatever. And then it's like, they end up doing more damage.
And how many times have you seen that turn into manipulation? Maybe not like firsthand, but like in movies and shit like that. You've seen religion and the power of the word, mm-hmm. turn into manipulation. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
depending on tons of movies are made like that.
Right.
I mean, that happens all around the world.
It happens all around the world. So
people use a front or a cover of, we're supposed to be such a holy place that there's stuff that can go bad with churches, with,
Definitely.
religious groups, just because people are blinded by the bigger picture. Like, oh, it's a religion, it must be good. No, mm-hmm. but that's not necessarily what, like you said, it's your relationship with God.
Right.
It's not necessarily this organization or this group. So churches, I mean, there's some good churches, there's some bad churches.
They just take advantage of the fact that people long for that community.
That is a good point.
That is very true.
When it gets to that point,
right?
And when it gets to the point where you have, and it all depends who's running that said, organization, that said church, that, mm-hmm.
Whatever
group, whatever the fuck it is. Because you could have somebody that with initially they, when they started it, whatever it is, they went with good intent. They were just really trying to help people. And then you have somebody that ends up coming up, they get close to the, whoever, the founder of whatever. And then, all right, well, I'm done with this here. I'm going to pass it on to you. And they take it and they put their different direction. They have your vision and modify it to what they thought what their vision is.
Right.
They take that platform or whatever it is and then again manipulate. And it's a lot of what,
right.
Just when you have people in control of things, running things, there's always some type of form of like manipulation. There's always some type of form of trying to one up just because like that's in human nature. Right. And the people who are willing to, take it to the next step are the ones that are usually going to be, a little crazy. They might be,
right.
They might think they're doing something good, but in reality, like, there's better ways of doing things and attacking things and shit like that.
Right.
I don't know. People are just fucked up really at the end of the day. Like,
that's true.
I don't know. I've been watching a lot of fucking like animes and fucking cartoons and shit, and it's all like, I mean, in movies and everything, it's all the same thing. There's always one person trying to fucking take power and feel like they're doing good in one way, but they're trying to fucking wipe out the whole fucking world and take over the world and do bad with it and shit. Like,
well, it's just some people's way of
evil type shit.
Attempting to gain power. It's the way they go about like how they're gonna get their power. That's kind of that red.
Dictatorships. I mean, we see that through years. I mean,
it's happened a lot in history.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild. The control of shit.
Cuba's still dealing with it.
To
Russia,
this day.
North Korea.
Yeah,
I'm sure plenty other countries that Venezuela.
Right.
It's not necessarily, kind of.
I don't know what's going on there, but their government's fucked.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a dictatorship, but it's kind of damn near a dictatorship.
But then it's hard because then when you get
he was elected and he was like, I ain't leaving. I ain't fucking leaving.
But like when you get a group of people, like even us, like sometimes like we bicker amongst ourselves and it's hard to come to an agreement with some shit. Even when you're trying to get different, because like it's like sometimes it's like it's good to have like one commanding voice and like kind of lead the direction of everything, so it's not a lot of like voices coming in, but at the same time like you need to have like different voices and different opinions, so it's like kind of like where is that balance of
it's one of the gifts and curses that God gave us, free will.
Free will is a fucking gift and a curse.
It's if we were told specifically or we were made specifically to only do this said things, we would only do that. But because we have the choice of we should know the right from wrong, or this is also your teachings in life, how you're going to know these things. But because we have things we've learned or things we've seen, different options, right and wrong, you go through life deciding, which path am I going to take? A bunch of different shit goes in, like all involved in it. Free will, it's just like, ooh, it's wild.
And imagine, like, when we're kids, like, we can't wait to fucking grow the fuck up so then we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Right.
But then
we see how much that shit costs.
You grow up and then you're able to do what the fuck you want, but that shit comes nothing's free in this world. Even freedom's not free in this world.
Yeah.
That shit comes at a cost.
How much it costs. A lot of time and a lot of money. Two things I hate to waste. In that order. Time and money.
Honestly.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Yakub? Since we're on the subject of religion.
For sure.
On the subject of religion, we do talk about relationships a lot on this show, obviously. If you watched the last episode, there was a lot of that on there. Is religion important for you when you're getting into a relationship or a situation with a girl? Like, you have to have a God-fearing woman?
I mean, it would be nice, of course. Like, that's what I would want, but
it's not a deal breaker for you.
It hasn't been in the past. Because I feel like eventually, if you're in a relationship with me, eventually you know what I'm doing and stuff. You're going to see it. Might rub off on you. Who knows? So I feel like eventually whoever I am dating will probably end up going to church with me. Like they might not, if they, strictly don't believe what I believe, I don't know how well we would, match up anyways.
Okay.
So it's somewhat of, similar cloth. Might not be cut from the same, but similar. Right. So they might end up
looking for that quality in a woman, in a sense.
If she
doesn't practice religion, be willing to.
Yeah, it's not like, for instance, like religion, Christianity, if you're a Muslim or different religions, that's all, whatever, to each your own. What I personally believe is, it's, it's religious, I guess, but it's not necessarily having to go to church or.
Well, that's why I said a God-fearing woman. That doesn't mean that she's religious.
Yeah, she just. Honestly, she just has to be a good woman.
That's fair.
Just have good values. Doesn't necessarily have to line up with everything I believe in with God and, everything in the world. But if she's a good woman, most likely, most things will add up.
That's fair. I would agree with you on that. Most definitely. I think I want to, like you said, I want a woman that has good values.
You would want some religious or some form of religion, like, in her background? Like, at least know of it?
I want a girl that has a belief in a higher power and in a God of some sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm not heavily religious myself, or at least not in this part of my life, so I wouldn't have that expectation of somebody else, but I do have a connection with a higher power, and I do, have a strong belief in that. So I would want somebody that kind of has
similar values,
similar value, or similar thought process, or at least be willing to hear it out, like you kind of said. You know what I mean? What about you there, Mr. Eric Aponte?
Man, like I said, have faith in something, believe in yourself, believe in something, fucking whatever gets you motivated. I mean, I've been to church with you. I've been to church. I'm not really religious, but like, there's good messages behind that shit sometimes. Like, It's not all fucking, like, I know people that will bash religion and think it's all shitty and bad. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, there's good people that, love God, love Jesus, you know, go to church, do their thing and all that. And that's fine. Like, if they're not hurting anybody, if they're not fucking with anybody, and they believe what they want and they go on with their life, like by all means, like again, it's like it's just about what gets you going and what gets you motivated. To both of your points, as long as you're good and doing good and trying to be the best you can be, and all that cliche shit, like
good to people.
Fuck, you could be fucking a hippie, fucking you could be Catholic, Buddhist, fucking whatever, Muslim. Like if you believe what you want to believe and you practice how you want to practice, and again, a lot of it is just respecting each other's boundaries on on shit. Like not even just with people in general, like your everyday life, just day to day shit. Just like you're gonna run into all different types of people. As long as like you can respect that and like understand that, like I don't really believe that. You sound a little crazy, but like I don't think you're a crazy person. I don't think you're fucking going out doing crazy shit. But that does sound. Some of that shit sounds a little weird. But you believe what you want to believe. At the end of the day, like. Nobody fucking really knows what the fuck is going on. We want to believe and we want to think that we know what the fuck is going on, but like for all we know, we could just fucking die and that's it.
It's funny that you say that. I was riding around and I was kind of thinking about that. Like that's the one thing that nobody knows. Like that's the ultimate mystery to life that nobody knows anything about.
Yeah,
nobody knows about that side. Nobody has an answer to what that side is like or what's to come.
Just think about it. You don't have any recollection of like the first like 2-3 years of your life really, and then like towards the end of it you're kind of losing your mind anyways, like like most people that are old is like fuck, I'm ready to go, I'm gonna kick the can. So like you're probably not even all the way there anyway. So like in the two most, like the beginning and the end, like we know what the middle is, but we don't know how shit started. We don't really know how shit is gonna end. Like we just know that we do start somewhere and we do end somewhere. What happens in between that is up to us. But besides that, like I'm not going to know what happens when I die until it happens. And, maybe I wake up at the pearly gates and, I'm awesome. Great.
Nobody can tell the story.
Honestly, maybe nothing. Maybe who knows? Like maybe it's just dark. That's it.
If
nothing.
you did show up to the pearly gates, what do you think would happen?
Eternal rest.
Man, hopefully they let me in. Shit, I feel like, but that's the thing. Like if you live,
there's an easy way to be let in.
If you live,
could you imagine that conversation?
There's a pretty easy way to be let in.
Wait, I can't get in? They give you the reasoning. Oh, that was one time.
God gives you a pretty simple way to get in there.
What is that?
Just have to believe in him. You got to believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins and that he was the only perfect.
But that's the thing. What if you don't believe that? What if you believe that faith. Jesus? Yeah, but that's a certain type of faith. Huh? There's faith that you believe in a higher power. Maybe it's not necessarily God and Jesus Christ and all this, or whoever in whatever character and whatever religion that you want to go in. But like
Allah.
Maybe Jesus. I believe he was fully real. I believe that. Sure, why not? Why wouldn't he be real? Do I believe that he did all this crazy shit and he was the most perfect human and that's it? I don't know, because that happened how fucking long ago?
A long time.
Like, I don't know. And what would go?
God, Jesus.
Yeah. Did I say God? I meant Jesus. But like
one and the same.
But like we're going off of right now like Bibles that have been translated and rewritten and interpreted in how many different ways, because the original holy book was written in languages we can't really fully interpret. So there's going to be things things that people write down that they interpret in their own way, and that's where the flaw comes, because over time, whoever comes into power, the winners write history. So when people took over shit,
I like that.
When people fucking were taking over lands and this, they would burn fucking books and libraries and rewrite their own history. So that's why, like, I'm not saying that this can't be real. I'm not saying that you're wrong for following religion or you're stupid or this or that, whatever. What I'm saying is that to say that there's only one way, I feel like you can't say that. Like, it's impossible to say that.
Simple way.
It's in your eyes. And that's the thing. Like, to me, like, I don't feel like I have to accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I feel like there is higher powers, universal shit that is going on that affects a lot of shit. Do I know that to be true? No.
Okay, so
because I'm so
and he's like, gave you. It was one thing, man.
Well, then I guess I'll fucking enjoy hell. Then I don't know. Like I'll make the
not.
most of that.
You would not. Yeah, I'll make the most of that.
If that's the only way, then it's like
terrible.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because there's so many different ways to do so many different things. How is there only one way to get accepted into heaven? If you, what if you're good?
He made it that easy.
What if you're a good person? You do great your whole life. You do good by people. You give to charities, make a lot of money. You fucking, help out your family, bring them out of bad places. You set your family up for generational wealth, and you're a good, genuine person. But the one caveat is that you did not accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. You're just all right. Bye. See ya. Kick you off the clouds.
I'm not the one up there who's taking. I'm not the one who's up there taking roll. But I'm asking you. In the Bible, is pretty simple stuff. Like there's so many things He's giving us the free will to do. He just wants us to do one thing for Him.
Well,
he's saying you could live your life. I know you're not perfect. I made you in my image, but you clearly keep fucking up. He didn't say that, but
that's Jacob's interpretation.
It's just the fact that we are not. We're made in His image, but we're not perfect. We're gonna mess up in life.
We are sinful,
and He knows this, and He
died on the cross.
Still came to die, to send His only. God created His only Son, sent His only Son.
Immaculate conception.
No sex. Shit just fucking popped in there.
You know that's what immaculate conception is.
Growing in her belly.
Big word. I was like, ooh.
The immaculate conception. You know what conception is? When you make a baby.
Clearly, guy.
So immaculate conception.
I'm just saying. It's just funny. But yeah.
But I don't know. Like,
and then there's historical stuff as well in the Bible that proves like certain facts in the Bible. Yes, there is. There is, sir. This guy.
But that's where the fucking, winners rewrite history. The winners write history.
It's a gem. That's a gem. I like
it's
that.
Just when it comes to people, and I'm not saying you're wrong, you're right, whatever, like, but it's just I feel like it's so hard to prove and like say 100% anything in this world, let alone shit that happened thousands of years ago. Let alone things that have been interpreted in however many different ways, and
So then, if not that, then what do we believe in?
Like I said, I'm a more
believing. You got to believe in something.
I believe.
That's what faith is, right?
I believe that there is shit going on.
Sense.
I believe there is shit above our comprehension going on. Whether it could very well be a God. It really could be Jesus Christ and all the Catholicism, Christianity, Muslim, Buddhism, whatever it could be any of that. Me personally, I believe that it's a fine line between mystery and what we already know. Okay. We know that like space and stars and the moon and all this all work together.
So what do you believe in? Do you believe in mystery or do you believe in what we already know? Because mystery would be probably religion and spirit, and what we already know would be science.
But
right?
I believe that there is like, spiritual shit. Like we all have a soul, spirit. Like there is like energy that
evolution. Do you believe we came from monkeys, or do you believe we were made in an image?
I don't believe we came from monkeys. I believe we came from like Neanderthals, and there was a human evolution. But what's to say that wasn't part of God's image? He tweaked us along the way, and He's still going along the way and shit like that.
What do you believe?
The fact that's the thing. Like I feel like you can't like just completely discredit that we didn't evolve from something, because like. There's DNA that is so close, but it's not monkeys because we're not related. There's no, but there's like things that there's DNA wise and shit like that we're closely related, and there's a lot of similarities between apes and humans and hominoids and all that fucking bullshit. So it's like maybe he started us as whatever the fuck the first stage, and then the human life, and there's a missing link and shit, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, and He tweaked us along the way and made us better, and maybe that's why we're getting to this point of like trying to segue, stopping or reversing aging and shit like that. Maybe these things that are going on, the timeline that where we're on is God fucking toying and tinkering with us and trying to make us better, and it's a constant project.
Yeah, but to go into the next segue of the anti-aging. I want to know what you believe. I want to answer to that question.
For question.
The question that you just asked. Do you believe in evolution? Do you believe... No. So you don't believe we evolved from anything? You believe that
if we evolved, for instance, under that, like I'm sure, I mean, I get that we've, evolved a little bit in life, but I'll never believe that we came from like a little cell, or then we're like a.
But we're made of cells, and like I don't
believe that we, started as the like.
A little tiny single-celled organism, and then evolved from there.
Yeah, I feel the human body is way too complex to have evolved from there.
You understand the human body is made up of billions and billions and trillions of cells.
But if you're saying we're evolved, for instance, why have we stopped evolving then?
We haven't.
Why? He just said that we
haven't.
Have you continuously evolving?
Compare people from now, athletes. That's a great one. Athletes from now to 30 years ago. Take the average fucking D lineman. They were probably about maybe 2 inches taller than me and who knows, maybe 250, 260, 270. Take a D lineman now. There's fucking 6'6", 6'7" D linemen, 6'5" D linemen pushing 300 pounds and moving the way that they move.
Think about these COVID babies. Not only that, think about the kids that are coming up now or being born that have just a natural understanding for how to work technology and what it is.
We can't see evolution
of the world.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying us as that type human beings are not evolving, but I'm saying as just the species itself.
We can't see that type of evolution because we don't live that long. Our lifespan is only 75, 80 years. Those type of evolutional changes take thousands of years sometimes.
I know, and I'm speaking about the last thousands of years.
So how are we gonna see that?
Just we don't live. In general.
We live fucking 70 to 80 years, hopefully. So we're not gonna see the massive change as far as features and shit like that. Unless Jeff Bezos
thing really pans out,
bro. I mean, he's got the fucking money to do it. I mean, people have been trying to reverse aging forever. People makeup, trying to make themselves look prettier. Botox, guys with the fucking surgery. Guys with the hair transplants and shit like that. People that has been a constant thing of I mean, we go back to what's his name, fucking guy who discovered Florida. Jesus Christ, why is his name not?
Christopher Columbus?
No, fucking
Ponce de Leon.
There you go. He was looking for the fountain of youth.
Yeah, he was.
That's been a constant. People are trying to not die, live forever.
He was looking for the fountain of youth, and he thought he found that shit. And he bumped into Florida.
Boom. That's been a lot of these things that we think about now and shit is we're not the first ones to think about this shit and try and think about how we can reverse aging or how we can get quicker transportation or how we can build things quicker. That's the evolution.
That is. No, you're right.
That's the evolution that we're able to see.
Yeah.
But as far as actual physical features, maybe less hair, shorter muscle mass, shit, things like that.
Right.
Those are things we won't really be able to see because those type of evolutions take generations to change.
Right.
But again, maybe that is, if you believe in God, if you believe in a maybe that is whatever the higher power is. Maybe that is we're made in His image, and the image keeps on changing.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Again, I won't know until it's my time.
That's what it boils down to, is that we don't know.
Exactly. So that's what sparks these things.
True, but that is what faith and religion is. Mm-hmm. Is a belief in something that you don't exactly know, but you have faith that what you do believe in is going to pan out for you at the end, in the afterlife.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
in a sense.
But that's why but that's what I say. Have faith. It don't matter what it is. Just believe in something. Even if it sounds outlandish. That's what, you said, that's what gets people through. It gives people that purpose. Mm-hmm. It gives the meaning to your life.
Right.
What is it that I'm working for towards the end? And maybe that's a human thing. We're always looking at the end game and what's the bigger picture. Maybe we're just here to
we're always looking for something to believe in.
Make babies and then die.
Yeah, but we're always looking for something to believe in. I mean, most people find faith in their worst moments, right? Mm-hmm. How many people in jail on their last leg turn to a higher power of belief, you know what I'm saying, to get them through whatever situation they're in. So it's not until you are forced into a situation where you have nothing else, you have to latch on to something.
I was just about to
get yourself through whatever situation you're in. Mm-hmm. That's the moment that you're going to be forced to make.
That's faith. That's where religion falls under that faith umbrella, essentially.
Right.
Faith is the bigger picture. Religion, spirituality, whatever other fucking 50 other labels there are for that shit. That's what it all is under. So it's that's what,
Right. I mean, I feel like religion is something that is practiced repeatedly, and you have your own form of it. We can talk shit religiously, or we can go out religiously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We do that all the time.
The word of no hangover.
Religiously.
The good word.
You know what I mean? So in a sense, it's just a community of belief.
Yeah.
And it so happens to be in a higher power.
Some people
with a certain scripture and a certain way of believing.
I was and what kind of like I was watching. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's probably not. It's on Netflix. I just started watching it. It's called Castlevania, and like part of it is like vampires and shit like that, and it's an anime, but it's dope as fuck, and like the messaging behind it, and like the time that it's in, it's like where there's a lot of religious prosecution going on, and a lot of like, just if you are not believing what we are believing, then they burn a chick at the stake, like in one of the first episodes, burn her alive because she was practicing science and doing medicine and shit like that, and it didn't fall under like the whatever. I don't know
their criteria.
I think I'm trying to think of what religion. It was either Christianity or Catholicism, one of those two. But like, she was a witch, burn her at the stake. That's it. But it's happened. But it's happened. That shit's in the Middle East still. Like, people are fighting over like.
I mean, it happens till this day.
Yeah,
people get killed for their beliefs till this day,
and it's fucked.
100%.
It's fucked. But that's what people fucking superiority complex.
I think a lot of people latch on to religion too because there's so much tradition in it. Like, you think about people that just Jehovah Witnesses, they can't celebrate holidays, they dress a certain way. Like, there's a certain way of living if you're in that religion. So that's kind of like a community of belief of like a kind of a structured life. Like, that is what your life is. That's the community that you belong to. So I think because tradition has been driven into religion for so long, it
kind of forms a certain type of person.
It does form a certain type of person, but like it's continued to have a community of people for so long because it's tradition based. You know what I'm saying? It'd always be something to follow for the rest of whatever lifespan that religion truly has.
I mean, imagine a day where like one of these major religions like is not anymore. Like, it just stops existing. Maybe not completely, but like it gets to the point where it doesn't have a big enough following anymore, and it's just like. Then imagine what takes.
But I mean, religion is what built our nation, right? I mean, the Pilgrims came here to practice their religion freely in a free land, and then that is what.
But then they ended up fucking up everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the irony of it. Like,
to get what they wanted, they killed, they murdered, they did whatever they had to do because of their belief in a higher power in their religion.
They thought they were doing it for good,
and that was where the corruption comes in, right?
And that's what the vicious cycle of people,
right? But in their mind, in that religion, what they're doing is okay.
Good,
they're well within their rights because of,
and that's happened throughout history.
The bigger reasoning for them.
People, like you said, people have conquered lands and changed shit, burned books,
right?
Yeah.
So then that goes back to the point of like how pure is it really? If we're gonna do all that just to get
your point across,
our belief across, our point across, essentially, then like we're no
no
better than the person that's on the street.
Human. That's the sinful flesh and the free will. People think, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
But then it goes into, but I have a belief in God and a higher purpose.
It is a belief, but it's still what they are choosing to do.
I repented. That cleans my slate.
Not necessarily. That's, again, a thing with different religions.
Okay.
Because Christianity is just thrown into like a bigger form because Catholics, Baptists, I mean, there's a bunch of different churches and branches of Christianity.
Okay.
And yeah, some people are extremists, some people are not.
Good word.
With that comes in our everyday culture. People are extremists when it comes to politics. We definitely saw that during election time.
Yeah.
Right.
Extremists over this COVID shit.
True.
I mean, yes, it's a real thing, but like you have extremes to everything. With religion specifically, especially during those times, it would be your extremists that were basically paving the way for like, this is what it is. But that's just because they're so.
And there's nothing else.
Yeah, like it was their way or the highway type shit.
Exactly.
That's those extremists.
That's extreme.
So it's kind of like
mentality.
Just like people say, show me your friends, I'll show you who you are. So sometimes it can get looked at as a bad image because it's an extremist from this branch of religion. It's not necessarily the whole.
So you could have a bad example.
Yeah. So
that could be a bad apple that could be speaking for the whole entire group of people.
Just like, and I mean, we could bring that into, for instance, religion, race, anything. Politics, schools, athletes, whatever. Right. It could become, full circle that you have one person, speaking for a collective and the one person is bad, you might be deemed as bad.
Well, let me ask you a question. How many bad apples makes the batch bad? Makes the community bad?
Takes one.
Only one?
Yeah, because you could. I mean, you
Depends
could.
how strong said apple is.
Yeah,
I mean, think about mold.
Somebody
in the
could
same
do.
reference.
Somebody could do 99 good deeds for you, and they'd fuck up that 100th time. You're gonna remember that 100th time, and that's gonna leave a more lasting impact than the other 99 times that they did something for you. And that it really takes that one to really fuck it up for everyone. Now, I mean, in a bigger picture, you know, whether we're talking religious or politics or religion or politics or whatever, you know, there's. You know, you're gonna if you gather that massive following, there is gonna be, you know, it just depends on the numbers.
And that's when the greed.
If you have millions of people that are following something, you know, I mean, and sports, a good example. You can have 1 million sports fans, and you know, a lot of them are good, but you're always gonna have those rowdy sports fans that are gonna get a little too drunk, get a little too passionate about their shit, start throwing fists with somebody because they said their quarterback fucking sucks.
Wild.
Right.
Now, if you take that
and
in
will
religion
the
or
organization look bad? Because of it, it possibly could. Because your fan
Eagles
group
are labeled as fucking rowdy ass fucking
Philly fans in general.
There you go. So it's like,
and it's not all of the Philly fans.
So bad that they scared your boy Ben Simmons off.
No,
I'm not coming back.
Yeah, he was being a little punk. He really did do that. He took his ball and went home.
Y'all gonna fly out to LA to see me? No, I'm not gonna meet up with you guys. We're not friends anymore. They hurt his feelings.
Shit.
That boy is hurt right now.
They throw fucking what?
Ain't Rich
didn't
Paul
they throw batteries at somebody? Michael Irvin, when he broke his neck, they threw batteries at him when they were carting him off the field.
I believe it. Philly
they
fans
threw
ain't no joke.
snowballs at Santa Claus.
Philly fans ain't no joke.
But like, you know,
Philly,
that kinda,
Detroit, they right there.
But they will be labeled. Not every fucking Philly fan, Detroit fan is a fucking asshole. But
that's
because you know, there's
the extremists.
You know,
but there's and that one bad apple.
Right.
But
in this case, it might be a lot more.
You could take, you know, with anything, like with politics or religion, and it just depends, like, what are you going to focus your attention on? Are you going to focus your attention on all the negative shit all the time? Then that's what your perception of that shit is going to be. If you're looking at all the bad things that politics has done, all the bad things that religion has done, all the bad things that, you know, whatever organization has done, then that is going to shape your perception of it, and you're going to think they are shit. They are not good. But if you look at the whole picture, most things in this world are pretty 50-50.
Right.
As far as good and bad. You know, just like most people. Most people in this world are pretty, you know, pretty decent people. You know, they fucked up here and there, whatever. But for the most part, most people are decent.
Yeah, they have a lack of judgment, but
so like
they're not a bad
everyone
person.
has a lapse. Everyone has a fucking lapse in judgment. So it's like, if you decide to look at only the bad shit that person has done, you're gonna think they're a fucking asshole, they're a bitch, they're a fucking jerk, this, that, whatever. But if you look at the whole scope of the person, it's like, you know what, like, yeah, he's done some good. Yeah, he's kind of fucked up here a little bit, but yeah, he's a pretty decent guy. Like,
in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, like, you know, we all exact, but it's like people will latch on to either the all good of something and think, you know, again, raise people up to a level that maybe they shouldn't be raised up on.
Right.
But then on the flip side, they will tear people down, fucking make them feel like shit because of one fuck up or one thing, and it's just like,
right.
You know, what you're gonna look at and what you're looking for is what you're gonna get, essentially.
Right. Jacob.
True. Very true. I was about to yawn. I was like, oh, hold it in.
It is late. We're putting in that overtime hours.
It's a late episode for y'all that didn't know. If
our voices sound like we're on fucking
the wee night hours,
R&B fucking late night radio, that's why, because it is late.
It's the quiet storm.
11.
I've been listening to that shit all week because I've had the loaner, and I've been fucking 94.5 is my go-to station when I have to listen to the radio, or it was the first one that I found. But either way, it's been on all week. I've had the loaner all week, and I'm coming home late at night, so I'm hearing the quiet storm.
I'm not gonna lie, I drove. How did that shit drive? Because I drove Joe's Lexus. He has a SUV Lexus now. I took him to the airport this morning. Man, that shit was smooth. Like, I was pushing like 90 and not even, bro, I felt like I was maybe going 50.
You talking about the truck I had?
Yeah,
it looked nice, right?
It did.
That gray on charcoal rims. I made them give me that one because there was two of them. He was trying to give me the other one, just a regular like navy blue one. I'm like, no, I want that one. But
man's picky when it comes to rentals.
Yeah, I mean,
give me that nice.
I tell you what it did do. Like, it rode okay. But it gave me a great appreciation for my car when I got it back. Yeah, it was. I was frustrated because it took them a week to finish the car, but like at the same time, you know, time away makes the heart grow more fonder, right? They say that.
So we shall see.
So when I got the car back, it made me really appreciate for how it really drives. You know what I'm saying?
Pain.
That shit is a great driving experience.
No, I love your car.
Forget the speed, like just how smooth it is. It's
bro, you pay for what you get.
How it takes off, like it's a quality vehicle. It really is a hidden gem. They did a great job with that Q50 Sport, and the hybrid takes it a little bit over the edge. But either way, it's a great, great mechanical beast.
Immaculate vehicle. Out of what would you guys want to get into?
I don't have my phone, so.
Future of technology. We were kind
of go there instead.
Fuck, I mean, self-driving cars and shit. Anti-aging. The future, I don't know. The future is just scary.
My shit damn near drives itself. It does have the cruise control. When I put it on cruise control, it has the
lane shit. It
has the lane shit, and it also has it'll brake on its own. It'll keep a certain distance between the car ahead of me, and it'll maintain speed. So if the car ahead of me goes to a complete stop, my car will come to a complete stop without me hitting the brakes or anything.
Wow.
And then when the car starts going again, it'll take off by itself, and it'll get back to the speed that I set it to, and it'll maintain that speed depending on the distance, and I can control the distance between me and the car ahead of me.
Making shit so convenient.
That shit is crazy.
Man. We're gonna be like some Wall-E. Have you seen Wall-E?
Yeah, of course.
All fucking fat as shit.
I can't
on the
wait to be laid out in the lounge chair, fucking ordering virtual McDonald's and shit.
Fuck that. I need to move around.
Good old Wall-E.
I get too fucking anxious. Like when we had block schedule in high school, that was the fucking worst.
Yeah. You would sleep the whole motherfucking time.
There in the morning, yeah, but those later classes, this shit was fucking.
Yeah. Take a afternoon nap.
Yeah, but in between that, I feel like we had some type of PE or weightlifting or something. But I understand what you're trying to say. Those classes were long.
It would be 2, and then you'd have 7th hour, and then what?
7th period basketball class was the greatest time ever.
1st, 3rd, 7th.
When I had 7th period basketball, I loved it.
5th, yeah. 4 classes a day. 5 classes 4, yeah. 1st, 3rd, 7th, 5th.
Odds and evens.
2nd, 4th, 7th, 6th.
Except always 7th.
Blue and silver days. This shit was fucking.
Senior year was the shit.
Well, we were skipping all the time, but. So I fit my shit in when I could.
I was skipping with you. If I wasn't skipping with you, I was skipping with you. Literally.
We would fit in our fucking naps or whatever the fuck.
And I had like the best situation to skip.
It was nice.
We would always go back to my place. My mom probably would be at work.
2K.
Single mom life. That's the benefit of having a single mom. You know,
it's a terrible thing. You get to skip school.
We never did anything too crazy.
I don't know. We could have been robbing people.
I mean, I guess it's relative. You know what I mean?
You don't say.
That could have been some. We could have been getting in some.
Oh, yeah. We could have been in some real mischief. But thankfully, we weren't in an environment like that. And we weren't those type of people, those type of kids. But yeah, single mom life. You know, when they go to work, house is your. Not really anybody that's paying attention to you at that point.
Right. I hope you're just doing everything you need to do.
Right. And at that point, my dad had already moved out of the state. By the time I was skipping classes and moving around like that and like actually driving, my dad moved the end of my sophomore year. Or no, the second half of sophomore year he moved. And I knew. I knew. I remember telling people as soon as he left, I knew what was going to happen. Because my mom, I love her. Bless her heart. I love her to death. But you know, there was only so much. My mom was, I don't want to say very lenient with me, but she was very trusting. And I just feel like the dynamic between a boy coming up with a single mom, like the mom is naturally just going to let you get away with more things.
Enable.
They kind of enable it in a sense because they love you so much.
And you're an only child on top of it. So it's just like,
right.
You're the baby.
That is true.
Right. And she kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like my mom really trusted me. Honestly, I feel like my mom, me and my parents had a great relationship, but on both sides. But when I was younger and like my mom trusted me at a young age to let me do kind of whatever I wanted, because she knew I was never gonna get
into real shit.
Exactly, because she knew my check and balance system. Like she knew who my dad was.
That good shit in you.
She knew I wasn't gonna do too much to get in trouble with my dad. That was always the thing.
Push it a little bit.
And when I would try her too much, all she would have to do is threaten me with my dad. Pick up the phone. Like that was, my mom always had that power. And because she knew that, she knew I was only gonna try and do so much. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing. That's why it's good to have somebody that can check your ass. Because a lot of niggas just running around here thinking that they the shit.
When's the last time you got whooped? Like, do you remember an age where your parent just came in and beat your ass real quick? You're like, all right, I'm sorry.
Maybe not beat my ass. I mean, I had some ass whoopings for sure, but I was young at that point. But the last one that I can really remember, I remember one time my dad picked me up from practice in high school. This might have been the beginning of sophomore year. It had to have been because that's when football season was. And I was wearing somebody else's cleats. And in high school, we kind of would do that. Like, we would trade shit. But how my dad was and how he came up, he never wanted me wearing other people's shit. Like, it would piss him off if he seen that. So he had been telling me that for some weeks, and I kept doing it. And he picked me up from practice one day and seen I was doing it. Didn't say nothing to me. Let me walk to the car. We got in the car, and as soon as we got in the car, he smacked the fuck out of me in the head hard 3 times. Whop, whop, whop. Didn't I tell you, nigga, to stop? And started going off on me and shit. So that's the last time that I remember, like, getting, like, truly reprimanded by a parent.
It was just,
I never
got brought it up.
The last time I was, maybe 5 years old. My dad spanked me once because I wasn't talking. Like, I broke a glass cup. Mm-hmm. I put it back in the fucking dishwasher because I was scared to tell my parents. And then they found out anyways, and I wouldn't talk, and my dad just spanked me because I wasn't talking. Because, solely because, they already knew it was me. He just wanted me to say it, and I just would not talk. He would confess. I would not talk. I was just sitting there
I'm not guilty.
And he was spanking me, and I still was not saying shit. I just took it, and that was that.
A time before that, I was in 8th grade, and it was me, Jalen, a couple other people. This is when my dad lived in Andover. We used to go to the LA Fitness over there and play basketball all the time. And we came back to the apartment, and my dad had this thing where I always had to knock on his door before I came in, just in case he was doing something, whatever was going on. So we came home that day. That day I didn't knock on his door. I just opened the door to go in because I was under the impression that he probably was taking a nap. So I didn't want to wake him up. And he so happened to get in an argument with somebody before I got home. So he kind of was already on 10. And I didn't knock, and I just opened the door. Yo, that nigga was mad. He said, didn't I tell you to knock on the door? Get your ass in here. And I went in there, and I'm in 8th grade. So I'm at that point, I'm like, I don't know.
You're a man child. You're
I was already at least 5'8", 100 and something pounds. And he grabbed me and picked me up and threw my ass on the bed. And I remember being so scared and amazed all at the same time. Because I couldn't believe that he had the power to throw me like that at the size I was. And then I was so scared that he was able to do it. I was like, oh my God. And I quickly explained myself. I'm like, no, I just thought you were sleeping. I just nigga was scared of the motherfucker. Oh, shit. Yo, but besides that, I maybe got 2 or 3 spankings from him, maybe in my life. So nothing too crazy.
We're all good seeds.
Yeah.
My mom whooped my ass real bad one time in my life. With a belt. Other than that, my mom would catch me quick and smack me and shit like that.
Yeah, my mom would hit me.
My mom whooped my ass bad one time in the bathroom.
Wooden spoons? Yikes.
But I would usually run, and she'd catch me at the corner of my fucking head with a wooden spoon. I'm like, oh God. I'd be like, fuck.
My mom caught me, cornered me in the bathroom one time, whipped the shit out of me with a belt. Because when I was a little kid, I would I would wake up in the morning and just go play games and just do kid shit.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't go brush my teeth directly. My mom would get mad at me about it. So she had been telling me for a long time, stop doing it, stop doing it, stop doing it. I never took her seriously. One morning, she took me in the bathroom. She's like, did you brush your teeth this morning? And I might have said I did, or I forgot what I said, but she felt the toothbrush and that shit was
bone dry.
And she had the belt with me, I was already set up. Started whipping the black off of me, whipped the shit out of me. And my uncle, God rest his soul, lived with us at the time. Him and his fiance at the time. And my uncle was the deepest sleeper I knew. He was a party guy, so he would stay up all night, drink beers, get down, and then sleep till 2 in the afternoon. Then nothing would wake that nigga up. She whooped my ass so bad in the bathroom, bro, that that nigga jumped up out of his sleep and was just looking at me like it was like a TV show or something like that. I'll never forget that. She whooped my ass bad. Since you asked, I wanted to get into some good ass whoopings because I had a couple.
Damn, man, I don't have anything like that.
once I asked you the question, I was like, damn, when was the last time I got my ass whooped? I don't honestly recall. I remember a couple like bad ass whoopings though, where either, like I said, my mom wouldn't get me too bad. She would just hit me quick with either like a spoon or like a heel. It wouldn't be like a fucking just
the quick ones.
It wouldn't be a regular sandal. She would grab a heel because them points and just throw it real quick. I'd be like break my. The worst though, I don't know how she knew how to do it, but like Kleenex boxes. Them, you know how sharp those corners are. She would just launch one of those and it would just perfectly get me in the back, and I'd sprawl out against the floor. I'd be like,
you didn't even know it.
I swear she could wrap a fucking chancleta around the corner.
Like a boomerang.
Like, it's fucked up. Parents have some.
My mom was a backhand queen. She would backhand me. She would catch me with her knuckles too. I used to hate that shit.
Yeah. I feel like my dad's whooped my ass worse unintentionally than real ass whoopings. I remember one though. I know I was old enough to like remember, and I remember I was old enough to where I was like, damn, I should probably wear jeans so people don't think I got my ass whooped like that. But one time he caught me.
He left you like.
He fucked my legs up because my dad had this. Only was one belt he had.
You had welts. Or you had
I had both.
Bruises.
I had both. Damn. He whipped my ass. I don't even remember what I did, but he had this belt that it was like a little metal tip triangle at like the tip of the belt.
He didn't mean to do that though.
This fucker.
Damn.
He knew I was gonna try to run, and he like grabbed my arm, and fucking basically I like spun. So I was gonna originally get like probably hit in the thigh or something. The shit caught me like back of the knee, like ACL area. I'm just like the fucking perfect triangle, and he whipped my ass at least 6-7 times. I had marks. I got fucked up that
tragic.
day.
All of that sounds tragic.
Yeah, he fucked me up that day.
I'm glad my mom didn't believe in hitting and shit like
good.
that. So turn up for that.
I mean, I didn't get hit that much, but
believed in that shit.
I feel like because I got hit, like it made me a better child. Like I don't believe in parents that are like, oh, you shouldn't hit your kid.
Yeah, I mean, if they need to get a little, I wouldn't.
You know, like I'm not talking about like Bart Simpson fucking, but
it's just so bad getting in trouble with my dad, bro. Like. It's because it's just such a lengthy process.
He's over here having fucking
of all this shit. Like,
he's looking in the camera like, Dad, why'd you do this, man?
I would get in trouble and then he would talk shit to me the whole day and fucking like intimidate me and then whip my ass later. And then after that would explain to me why he whipped my, like he would have like a reconciliation process all the time. Like he would play mind tricks with me. He would play mind tricks with me all day and get in my head and intimidate me about shit and like build hype and then would whip my ass.
And then I feel bad.
And then come here, son. Let me
live up to the hype.
Now, Dad wants to explain to you why he had like he would do that shit.
Fuck. I feel like
take a whole day.
It's because Isabel had to deal with the process first. My dad was way more chill by the time we came along.
Not only that, he had you a little older age.
Yeah, he was 38 when he had me. He was well in his 40s by the time he was even disciplining us anyways.
Dealing out ass.
And then, I mean, he was the same. He was he was in his early 40s. He was closer to, never mind. My dad was in his 50s when he was like really,
disciplining you?
Nah, he was in his late 40s, like, my younger life when I was getting disciplined. But I remember his 50th birthday. I was only like
12.
I don't know, maybe.
You was 38, 48, you're 10.
You're right. Boom.
Good
50. Math there, buddy. Good math.
You were 12.
Yeah, I was 12. So
it's late. It's the late hours.
So once he was in his 50s, I wasn't really getting my ass beat like that.
He lost the energy.
Like, I ain't doing this shit no more.
That actually though, because I was like 13. I was 13 or 14 when he got me with that metal tip belt. So he was probably like 51,
you were older
52.
when he caught you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was old enough to fucking have to wear
jeans. You was trying to run at 13, 14?
What do you mean?
I thought he was quick.
13, 14.
He had already hit me. He had already got me like
never doing that.
As soon as I walked through the door, he had already hit me like 3 times.
Oh.
So that's why I tried to fucking dip.
Surprise!
It was
like, oh shit.
That's why the metal tip came out because when they have a belt, they fold the belt over. So it's 2 sides of the belt that hit you.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he got me with the metal tip because I had ran and he fucking let it go with one side.
Let the wrong side go.
And fucking basically used it as a whip and fucking got me like 3 more times like that, and I was fucked up.
It's funny you say that though, like about him being kind of in his 50s in his older age and not really having energy to do that as much. And
we still know him as the crazy,
Still, but reserved in a sense, like compared to what he was from what you know. Yeah. It's funny you say that
Isabel got her ass
because my dad is about to be 50 now, and like how he is with my little brother, like I can tell he's a lot more calm, and he doesn't get as aggressive with certain things. He just doesn't have the energy to like
that is wild.
Take it that far. Me, he had me when he was 25, so
all the testosterone.
He still had 5 years of his 20s, and like he was hitting his prime at 30, 31, 32. Like I was only 10 by the time he's 35. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you were getting your ass beat for sure.
I was 15 by the time he was 40. That's when he kind of started to tone it down. So
all right. I'm good now.
Yeah,
I got this shit out. Yeah,
it's wild. Life's crazy.
It's just funny because I understand, like, now that I'm older, he was a different person and in a different mind state at that point. I didn't really get any bad. Like, my parents were great to me. I got the average ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jacob got similar shit. There's
even the worst ass whooping I got wasn't like anything where you'd be like, oh my God, the cops should have been called.
Yeah, there's plenty of kids that got some like real deal, the shit kicked out of them. Like, a little bit like, you look at it a little weird. Yeah, you might cross the line on some things.
Honestly,
our parents never did.
I witnessed an ass whooping once.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was staying at a friend's house and we snuck out to go to these chicks' house, and mom caught us. Went back and she was fucking waiting with a belt with his ass, beat the shit out of him, and I was just sitting there like, damn, golly, I'm glad this isn't me. Like, a part of me thought
that situation has happened to me, but like we didn't get an ass whooping.
Yeah, part of me thought I was gonna be next. I was like, shit, like
step brothers.
I was just like, fuck, like,
you're next, mister.
Yeah, that shit was intense, but but like, cause I didn't really.
That was something else when me and Amber would get whipped together. That was something.
It's a bonding experience.
That's always something.
I could see Jacob. Oh, ladies first. Probably was an asshole back then too.
I would always have to go
take
first.
The brunt of it.
Volunteer as tribute. I
feel like
I feel like naturally you would try to protect your sister.
I tire them out. I'm like, I'll get it first. Running through like a fucking.
As a kid, did you kind of like try and take blame for situations, or you would
well, it didn't. I didn't blame her for nothing. I got blamed for everything regardless. So
even if you tried,
even if I didn't do it, I was getting blamed. I'm the only boy. It was fucking Amber or Isabel. Jacob did it. I'm like, what the fuck? What'd I do?
Rachel would make me believe that I did shit.
She played real mind tricks.
Yeah, she would make me believe. Like, I'd be like, I didn't do that. Like, there was one time at my dad's house, there was like some decoration towels, and they don't use those ones to wipe your hands. And I didn't do it. I guess my sister did. And they just left us in the bathroom until one of us admitted it. And I didn't do it. She was
in there telling you, like, no, you did it.
Yeah, Eric. Pretty much. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I did do it. And then I just took the fucking blame for the shit. But
Rachel was over here like this. He was fucking evil genius at fucking 10 years old.
Oh, shit. Yeah, she made me believe that I did shit. Yeah. But, like, she was my older sister. So I was like, it was until Julia came around. And even then, Julia we're 5 years apart, so like me and her didn't really start hanging out until she was already I was 10, she was 5. But like, so Rachel was the one that I would hang out with when I wasn't with my friends and shit, so she would tell me anything. I believe that shit.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's true. Your siblings are honestly your best friends because you know them.
Yeah,
you know forever, and fucking
you live with them.
Isabel and Amber, we have different relationships. I mean, I love them both equally, and my sisters. But like me and Amber grew up together. Like she was always around me because, for most of our lives we were actually in the same grade, which sucked, but whatever. Tragic. But anyways, So
people probably thought you were twins.
For the most part, people did.
You guys were always in the same class or not?
Never in the same class, but just we were in the same grade. So they're like, oh, you're the same age? No, I'm a year older.
What was your relationship like with Isabel?
Growing up, it was good. There was only a couple times where Isabel and Amber like teamed up on me.
How many years older is Isabel?
Isabel's 6 years older than me.
Okay.
So like Isabel, by the time, I'm 6, she's 12. She's already in middle school, hanging out, going to her friends' houses. So me and Amber were playing. Kid shit. Yeah, me and Amber are just playing around the neighborhood. By the time I'm 10, Isabel's 16. She's driving. She would drive us to school. People thought we were her kids sometimes.
Right. Damn.
So
That's
it was
when
like,
she had the Mustang?
yeah, when she drove, she had like 2 or 3 Mustangs.
Stunting.
She would drive us to school or pick us up from school, take us to appointments and stuff. We're still kids, you know. I'm only 10 years old. She's 16, driving us around.
That's crazy.
I remember like being, so I was 9 and she started working at CC's at 15, and go see my sister at work and be like, ah.
Damn, that must have been
Fucking amazing. It was fucking amazing. She worked at CC's, bro.
That is
like
amazing.
it was a 9-year-old's dream come
back
true.
then, yeah.
I had my birthdays there.
Yeah, you still love that motherfucker.
I didn't give a
How can you
damn.
not? Unlimited pizza.
Yeah, I fucking
They got
loved
those
that
fucking
shit.
cinnamon rolls and those
Cinnamon rolls were always my favorite.
Bavarian
Fuck the brownies.
cream
Cinnamon rolls were where
pizza
it's
things.
at.
That shit's good.
I'm not a Bavarian cream type of person.
Nah, but
It's
Not a
cinnamon-
Boston cream. I'm not a cream type of person.
I like Boston cream. Eclairs are pretty good.
I gotta be in a certain
I like
mood.
those oatmeal
Yeah,
cream
they're
pies.
kind of heavy, so you kind of
Yeah, I definitely have to be in a certain mood.
And I need milk too. Milk with that shit to wash it all down. Wash
Yeah,
it all
Jordan's
down.
an old soul.
Raisins. He likes raisins.
I do like raisins. Oatmeal raisin cookies are the shit.
I like regular oatmeal cookies. Miss me with the raisins.
Nah,
shit.
the raisins
The
make
fuck is
it
wrong with you?
make it actually bearable.
chocolate chips.
Not as dry.
The fucking chocolate chip cookies from Chick-fil-A are like oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. They're good as fuck. Yeah, those shits there.
What?
Yeah.
When I heated them up.
Yeah. That
Them
shit is
bitches
Might be
fucking.
missing
work.
something there.
You've never had their cookies?
No.
You've never had Chick-fil-A cookies?
No.
I mean, the first time
Damn.
I
They are
had them
gas.
when we got them last week. When I got them
That
last
was the
week,
first time you had them?
that I remember them being that
All right,
good.
well, my
yeah.
fat ass just has to try cookies from everywhere because I've had those
I don't know.
for
like,
years.
I don't remember them being that good.
They're
That's why I
fucking
never really
delicious.
got them. And then
Chick-fil-A. Love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, besides them skimping us on that mac and cheese.
yeah, they
Them
fucking did, those motherfuckers. They do have some good mac and cheese though. But
They really do.
we can wrap this puppy up. No Hangover Podcast, motherfuckers.
Tell them where to
building.
find us.
At No Hangover Podcast on IG. If you want to go on Twitter, I guess check that out. You know, whatever.
No Hangover Pod.
No hangover.
There you
pod.
go.
Get it down with the tweets.
On YouTube for the visuals, comment, like,
Subscribe.
share with your friends, subscribe. Apple Podcasts, leave reviews, comment on that as well. Spotify, I don't know if you can comment on that, but if you can, say something nice.
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, you can leave a little heart on there. And Google Play, don't know because I've never been on there, but I'm sure there's some type of feedback shit on there. So do that.
You probably said Apple Podcast first.
Google Play. I did say Apple Podcasts
I
already.
figured.
Yeah, we're good. I covered all the bases. Check out all past episodes on all those platforms. They're good. We put out good shit. So, yeah.
They're good.
Any last words, fellas?
That last episode was really good. I feel like a lot of people would like that.
Push it.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Our interview
Push it.
episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, our episodes are great. We know you love them, but our interview episodes, they are fun.
Bring some
Yeah,
juice.
bring something new to the table.
Some
Different
juice.
perspective.
Some fun times.
Definitely.
We'll have some more of those coming soon.
Mhm.
If you're trying to be on.
We got a list,
Like you
so reserve your spot.
Boom.
We do.
We're going places, but everybody love everybody. See y'all next week.
Yes, sir.